Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Why do you think the Americans started to talk to the Russians all of a sudden? If you think that is because Donald Trump is just different and he said that he's going to do it and so on, if you think that's because he's different than the previous administration, which it seems, then I don't think that is accurate. I think behind all these guys, that's some entity that really maneuvers the baboons that we are allowed to confirm in the office with our elections. They're pre-selected. I think the reason why we have this openness coming from the Americans, and not only, is because they realized they could not win. That is, you lost. Therefore, they are eager now to make a lot of concessions to the Russians. Concessions that before were really impossible to even contemplate, let alone utter them in public. So I have here 3 articles. One, I will show you how the Americans think about easing sanctions on Russia. The second one, they come to realize or recognize in public that Western support won't secure victory for Kiev, according to US intelligence. What changed? And the third one is a certain country in Europe urges Putin, the guy who's winning at this point, to agree to ceasefire without further delay. Who talks like this? Only someone who thinks, or maybe who is really in power. Well, this country that I will reveal right now is just a baboonish, how do you call it, delusional country. I'm talking about the leaders. So let's start with the first article, first topic. Russia Today, 26th of March, 2025. US, quote-unquote, thinking about easing Russia sanctions. Trump. Why is it? Because Trump is an agent, works for the Russians, negotiations. Tell me what the Russians give in return. They give less bombs on Ukraine. That's what they give. But everything else comes from the other side. It's very interesting how the order just came, with the Trump administration. I don't think it's the Trump administration, but hey, we'll see. Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky has insisted that should be no weakening of curbs against Moscow. The US is considering lifting certain sanctions against Russia in order to advance the Black Sea Grain Initiative, seen as a step towards settling the Ukraine conflict. That means, let's just start over. Nice try, but hey, we lost. Both the Kremlin and the White House stated on Tuesday that as part of the agreement, the US will help restore Russia's access to the world market for agriculture and fertilizer exports, lower maritime insurance costs, and enhance access to ports and payment systems for such transactions. They will be looking at them. This is when Donald Trump was asked, confirmed that his administration is indeed considering lifting some of the sanctions against Moscow. And I'm quoting, they will be looking at them. And we are thinking about all of them right now. There are 5 or 6 conditions. We're looking at all of them, Trump said. And here we have Ukraine's Zelensky lashed out of Washington later in the day, accusing the US of discussing the issue of sanctions with Russian delegations without properly briefing Kiev on the matter. Another delusional. You don't matter, my friend. He's not my friend, but nevertheless. And I'm quoting. We did not agree to this, so that it would be a joint document. Well, the sanctions are imposed by the United States of America, not by Ukraine. So back off, or buzz off. We believe, who's we? We believe that this is a weakening of position on a weakening of sanctions and a weakening of sanctions. Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to be hurt because of you, Zelensky. Is it clear? Is it clear? I hope you shouldn't have been where you are in the first place. That means in Ukraine and being the president of the Ukrainian nation, let alone at war with the European Putin. Okay? So that's my thing. Next one. Let's see what the US intelligence has to say about this issue. Russia Today. Western support won't secure victory for Kiev. US intelligence. Didn't you know this before? No, because they tried and they failed. I mean, some people made a lot of profits and some entities, some profiteers obviously. Russia maintains battlefield superiority and has strengthened its capabilities in key areas according to a new threat assessment. Western military aid to Kiev and sanctions against Russia cannot shift the balance of power in the Ukraine conflict, according to the U.S. intelligence community's 2025 annual threat assessment. Moscow holds the advantage on the battlefield, having adapted to outside efforts to assist Ukraine. But Moscow holds the advantage on the battlefield, having adapted to outside efforts to assist Ukraine, the report's authors explain. The grinding war of attrition is expected to further weaken Kiev, regardless of any US or allied attempts to impose new and greater costs on Moscow. Got it? This experience probably will challenge future US defense planning, including against other adversaries with whom Moscow is sharing those lessons learned. That means we are bad, China, CESID, and others. So, what does that mean? Futile attempt. Unfortunately, countries got destroyed, in this case Ukraine, nations got hurt and destroyed, which is Ukraine at this point, and other people will just get their money and go to London. Who do you think those guys are? I'm talking about Yermak, I'm talking about Zelensky, I'm talking about Zhmyhal, I'm talking about Umerov, and I'm talking about Reznikov, if you remember Reznikov, one of the four pigs, initial pigs in Ukraine. And that gets me to the last topic, where we have a delusional country, which is the United Kingdom. I'm talking about the leaders, the guys in charge of you guys, urging Putin to do something. Why? Because otherwise the United Kingdom will do something in the bathroom. Maybe that, or take a shit. That's about it. Alright, Ukrainska Pravda. United Kingdom urges Putin to agree to ceasefire without further delay. Wednesday, 26 March. So who's talking like this? I tell you who's talking like this. The school principal to a student, a teacher to a student, I don't know, a general to a colonel to a, I don't know, captain. That's someone who's in charge of someone like a parent to a child, you know. Go and clean your room without delay. I urge you. Why? No popsicle for you. No playing in the playground today. You're not going to see Mikey today. You're not going to have a play day. Why? Because I can make that happen. If I want, you can't. And if we get to, all right, let's go. Let's read who's the baboon who said this. Let's see. The source, UK Foreign Office, in a statement as reported by European Pravda. The UK Foreign Office noted it was in close contact with US and Ukraine following the conclusion of talks in Riyadh. They were just, can you tell me? They have no authority. They're out. They're irrelevant. And I'm quoting, President Zelensky has already shown Ukraine is the party of peace. No, he didn't. By proposing a full, immediate and unconditional ceasefire. We hope that President Putin will agree to this without further delay, the UK Foreign Office said. UK Foreign Office is irrelevant. This guy right here is irrelevant, all right? And unconditional ceasefire only the Russians will demand out of you because you are losing. And I will agree to this. All right, my friends. People who lost importance, but they think they still have it. And my easy example is a former, let's say, boxing heavyweight who's, let's say, 70 years old. And with age, you know, it shows. And he goes and, I still have it. No, you don't, champ. You used to, about, I don't know, 60 years ago. Right now, niet. So this is Great Britain. Great Britain is the bankrupt country, unfortunately, with a very good spy network. Very good. And it has a lot of infiltrated people in certain countries where it has interest, and a lot of printed money, or money that really doesn't have. That's why it's bankrupt. Has a shitty economy. It has an infiltrated country with baboons from all over the place. It has a destroyed infrastructure, and it's going down. A military, I'm not going to talk about it, used to be, but what did they do? Remember, they went into the Second World War to fight for Poland's freedom. That's why they got into the Second World War. That's how the Second World War actually happened, started. Because before they declared war, the Brits, to the Germans, it was a one-on-one war. Germany versus Poland. Germany attacked Poland. So it was that was not a world war. When Great Britain declared war, that's when the Second World War actually started. Because Great Britain, with all its colonies, all its colonies, turned it into a world war. And then France declared war, and then and everything happened. So if the Brits would not have declared war, it would have been Poland and Germany. I'm not talking about who was right and who was wrong. It was one-on-one. No threesome or fifth sum or 1,000 sum, okay? So the Brits entered to protect Poland's independence, freedom, right? And then what did they do after the Second World War? They gave Poland to the Soviets, to Stalin, to the criminal communist. So all the people who died for what? In vain. They defeated Hitler. Okay, defeated Hitler. But you gave Poland to the other guy. So it was not about making sure that Poland is independent and stays sovereign. It was about destroying that guy. What was that guy policy that these guys did not like? They didn't care about those guys, didn't they? Well, you know the UK's policy is no strong country in the European continent. So we can pull strings. And then besides Balfour Declaration, First World War, and so on. So you won what? Your country, your empire became bankrupt. You lost your colonies after the Second World War, right? And then due to that, because you were weakened, you got bankrupt. What do you want? And then you lost Poland. Poland, you gave it from this evil guy, which did not intend initially to take over all Poland. He wanted Danzig, but nevertheless, what he might have done, that's a supposition. I mean, I might fly tomorrow. It's a supposition. Will I? I don't know. The same here. We can say, well, he did the same thing with Czechoslovakia. Well, the same thing did with Czechoslovakia with what they did with Poland together with the Soviets. When the Germans invaded the Sudetenland and they went towards get all Czechoslovakia, the Poles got 2 counties in the north of Czechoslovakia, if I remember correctly. They did exactly what the Soviets did to themselves in 1939 when they entered together with the Germans. So anyway, so bankrupt, no empire anymore, colonies. Mr. Churchill, who won the war, was not the prime minister after the war. He lost, he was kicked out. But if you win a war, aren't you a hero? Obviously, he did what he was supposed to. So you screwed yourselves, and right now you think you still have it. Yeah, the only thing you did with Argentina, with Falklands Islands. That's all. And what, 79, 78, something like this. That's all you did. I don't know what if you try right now, if you would mirror that experiment. But hey, they think they still have it. You don't. All you have is, as I said, money that you have, not your money. Money, connections, spy network, and people that are on your payroll. That's about it. What resources you have? Zero. I mean, that's it. You're a small little thing over there when the wind blows and the drizzle is 10 months a year. But hey, good luck to you telling Putin what to do. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.